So this panel lets me actually communicate, which is much, much more better. There's a chat now. Good stuff. Okay, so let me go over here. Cancel this. I'm gonna go here. Stream. Live. Back. Forgive me as I set this up. Upcoming. Is that the one? I don't know if that's the one. Okay, so I'm going to go to my actual account. I don't want to be stuck in here right now. Here we go. Your channel. Yeah. Live. Sweet. And how do I share? Thank you. Facebook. That's one. Then I'm also going to share, copy, one more place. And once I get here, I can begin. Next. And post. Who was that posted though? Was it me? It was. Perfect. Okay, so now I got all that fucking crap out of the way. Boy, oh boy. First of all, I don't need to do that break. Alright. How's everybody doing? This is exactly what it says it is. We're going to have some fun learning some stuff. And how we're going to do such? Simply by reading. You see, that's the thing, is a lot of people forget that reading brings knowledge. So what do you do when you find the right stuff to read? You become awoken. Well, you start enjoying life. How you bend reality into your favor and stuff, so. See, I have this wonderful piece of literature in front of me. I decided I want to make a series of me reading this whole book in parts. That's why it says part one. I'll read the whole book right now. I mean, like, it's not that big. I probably could. No numbers on the pages or anything. But it's the information that the book holds. Probably need to make an adjustment. Can you hear me now? Hopefully you could have. But what I'll do is I'll double check my thing real quickly here. Just bear with me as I look at my sound settings. I'll make sure the microphone is a little more. It's not too bad, thankfully. It's on recording mode for the music I make. But that should have boosted it up a little bit, make things a little bit easier. So, once again, all I'm simply doing is just reading a book. I've never read this book before, so I'm excited to have it. I'm excited it showed up. And you know what? Maybe I'll use this light right here, like this. Turn it on. Now you can see me better. Now I can see the book better. Okay, so the joys of me doing this is kind of saves you from having to go read it, doesn't it? The question is, how much do you need this information? Oh, I hear there's some good stuff in here, so let's find out. I got no coffee. Oh well. Alright. Any person fasting on Midsummer Eve and sitting on the church porch will, at midnight, see the spirits of the persons of that parish who will die that year come and knock at the church door in the order and succession in which they will die. One of those watchers there being several in company, fell into a profound sleep, so that he could not be waked. Whilst in the state, his ghost was seen by the rest of his companions knocking at the church door. Any unmarried woman fasting on Midsummer Eve, and at midnight laying a clean cloth with bread, cheese, and ale, and sitting down as if going to eat, the street door being left open, the person whom she is afterward to marry will come into the room and drink to her by bowing, and afterward, filling the glass, will leave it on the table and making another bowl retire. On St. Agnes night, the 21st of January, take a roll of pins and pull out every one after another, saying a pater noster on sticking a pin in your sleeve, and you will dream of him you shall marry. Another method to see a future spells in a dream. The party inquiring must lie in a different country from that in which he commonly resides, and on going to bed must knit the left garter about the right-legged stocking, letting the other garter and stocking alone. And as you rehearse the following verse, at every comma knit a knot. This knot I knit, to know a thing I know not yet, that I may see the man that shall my husband be, how he goes and what he wears, and what he does all days and years. Accordingly, in a dream, he will appear with the insignia of his trade or profession, another performed by charming the moon. Thus, the first appearance of the new moon, immediately after the New Year's Day, go out in the evening and stand over the spears of a gate or stile, and looking on the moon, repeat the following lines. All hail to thee, moon, all hail to thee. I prithee, good moon, reveal to me this night who my husband must be. The party will then dream of their future husband, a slice of the bride's cake, the rice thrown through the wedding ring, and laid under the head of an unmarried woman, will make them dream of their future husband. The same is practiced in the north with a piece of groaning cheese. How to receive the oracles by dream. You know what oracles are, right, people? I hope so. He who would receive true dreams should keep a pure, undisturbed, and imaginative spirit, and so compose it that it may be made worthy of knowledge and government by the mind. For such a spirit is most fit for prophesying, and is a most clear glass of all things. When, therefore, we are sound in body, not disturbed in mind, our intellect not made dull by heavy meals and strong drink, not sad through poverty, not provoked through lust, not incited by any vice, not stirred up by wrath or anger, not being irreligiously and profanely inclined, not given to levity nor lost in drunkenness, but chastely going to bed, fall asleep, then our pure and divine soul, being free from all the evils above recited, and separated from all hurtful thoughts, and now freed by dreaming, is endowed with the divine spirit as an instrument, and doth receive those beams and representations which are darted down, as it were, and shine forth from the divine mind into itself in a defying glass. There are 4 kinds of true dreams, viz. The first, matutinine, example, between sleeping and walking. The second, what which one sees concerning another. The third, that whose interpretation is shown to the same dreamer in the nocturnal vision. And lastly, that which is related to the same dreamer in the nocturnal vision, but natural things and their own commixtures do likewise belong unto wise men, and we often use such to receive oracles from a spirit by a dream, which are neither by perfumes, unctions, meats, drinks, rings, seals, etc. Now those who are desirous to receive oracles through a dream, let them make themselves a ring of the sun or Saturn for this purpose. There are likewise images of dreams, which, being put under the head when going to sleep, doth effectually give true dreams of whatever the mind hath before determined or consulted upon, the practice of which is as follows. Thou shalt make an image of the sun, the figure whereof must be a man sleeping upon the bosom of an angel, which thou shalt make when Leo ascends, the sun being in the 9th house, in Aries, when you must write upon the figure the name of the effect desired, and in the hand of the angel the name and character of the intelligence of the sun, which is Michael. Let the same image be made in Virgo ascending, Mercury being fortunate in Aries in the 9th, or Gemini ascending, Mercury being fortunate in the 9th house in Aquarius, and let him be received by Saturn with a fortunate aspect. And let the name of the spirit, which is Raphael, be written upon it. Let the same likewise be made Libra ascending, Venus being received from Mercury in Gemini in the 9th house, and write upon it the name of the angel of Venus, which is Anelio. Again, you may make the same image, Aquarius ascending, Saturn, fortunately, possessing the 9th in his exaltation, which is Libra, or Libra, however you want to say it, and let there be written upon it the name of the angel of Saturn, which is Cassio. The same may be made with Cancer ascending, the moon being received by Jupiter and Venus in Pisces, and being fortunately placed in the 9th house, and write upon in the spirit of the moon, which is Gabriel. There are likewise made rings of dreams of wonderful efficacy, and there are rings of the sun and Saturn, and the constellation of them is when the sun or Saturn ascends in their exaltation in the 9th, and when the moon is joined to Saturn in the 9th, and in that night, in that sign, which was the 9th house of the nativity, and write and engrave upon the rings the name of the spirit of the sun or Saturn. And by these rules you may know how and by what means to constitute more of yourself. But know this, that such images work nothings, as they are simply images, except they are vivified by spiritual and celestial virtue, and chiefly by the ardent desire and firm intent of the soul of the operator. But who can give a soul to an image, or make a stone, or metal, or clay, or wood, or wax, or paper to live? Certainly no man whatsoever. For this arcanum doth not enter into an artist of a stiff neck. He only hath it who transcends the progress of angels, and comes to the very archetype himself. The tables of numbers likewise confer to the receiving of oracles, being duly formed under their own constellation. Therefore, he who is desirous of receiving true oracles by dream, let him abstain from supper, from drink, and be otherwise well disposed, so his brain will be free from turbulent vapors. Let him also have his bedchamber fair and clean, exercised and consecrated. Then let him perfume the same with some convenient fumigation, and let him anoint his temples with some unguent, efficacious hereunto, and put a ring of dreams upon his finger. Then let him take out one of the images we have spoken of, and place the same under his head. Then let him address himself to sleep, meditating upon that thing which he desires to know. So shall he receive a most certain and undoubted oracle by dream when the moon goes through the sign of the 9th revolution of his nativity, and she is in the 9th sign from the sign of perfection. This is the way whereby we may obtain all science and arts whatsoever, whether astrology, occult philosophy, physics, etc., or else suddenly and perfectly, with a true illumination of our intellect, although all inferior familiar spirits whatsoever conduce to this effect, and sometimes also evil spirits sensibly inform us, intrinsically and extrinsically. Well, those are two new words I've never heard before. Mind you, this is information from like the 1800s. Okay, dreams, tokens, and insight into futurity, the ring and the olive branch. Buy a ring. It matters not in being gold, so as it has the semblance of a wedding ring, and it is best to try this charm on your own birthday. Pay for your ring with some small bill. For whatever change you receive, you must give it to the first beggar you meet in the street. And if no one asks alms of you, give it to some poor person, for you need not, alas. Go far before you find one to whom your charity will be acceptable. Carefully note what they say in return, such as, God bless you, or wishing you luck and prosperity as is usual. When you get home, write it down on a sheet of paper. At each of the 4 corners and in the middle, put the 2 first letters of your name, your age, and the letters of the planet then reigning as morning and evening stars. Get a branch of olive and fasten the ring on the stalk with a string of thread which has been steeped all day in a mixture of honey and vinegar, or any composition of opposite qualities, very sweet and very sour. Cover your ring and stalk with the written paper carefully wrapped around and around. Wear it in your bosom till the 9th hour of the night, then repair it to the next churchyard and bury the charm in the grave of a young man who died unmarried. And while you are so doing, repeat the letters of your own Christian name 3 times backwards. Return home and keep as silent as possible till you go to bed, which must be done before 11. Put a light in your chimney or some safe place, and before midnight or just about that time, your husband that is to be will present himself at the foot of the bed, but will presently disappear if you are not to marry. None will come, and in that case, if you dream before morning of children, it shows that you will have them unmarried. And if you dream of crowds of men, beware prostitution. The witch's chain. Let 3 young women join together in making a long chain. About a yard will do, of Christmas juniper and mistletoe berries, and at the end of every link put an oak acorn. Exactly before midnight, let them assemble in a room by themselves, where no one can disturb them. Leave a window open and take the key out of the keyhole and hang it over the chimney piece. Have a good fire and place in the midst of it a long, thinnish log of wood, well sprinkled with oil, salt, and fresh mold. Then wrap the chain around it, each maiden having an equal share in the business. Then sit down, and on your left knee, let each fair one have a prayer book opened at the matrimonial service. Just as the last acorn is burned, the future husband will cross the room. Each one will see her own proper spouse, but he will be invisible to the rest of the wakeful virgins. Those that are not be wed will see a coffin or some mishapen form. Cross the room, go to bed instantly, and you will all have remarkable dreams. This must be done either on a Wednesday or a Friday night, but no other. Love's cordial. To be tried the third night of a new moon. Take brandy, rum, gin, wine, and the oil of amber, of each a tablespoonful of cream, and 3 of spring water. Drink it as you get into bed. Repeat, this mixture of love I take for my potion, that I of my destiny may have a notion. Cupid befriend me, new moon be kind, and show unto me that that's design. You will dream of drink, and according to the quality of manner of it being presented, you may tell the condition to which you will rise or fall by marriage. Water is poverty, and if you dream of a drunken man, it is ominous that you will have a drunken mate. If you dream of a drinking too much, you will fall as a future period into that sad error yourself. Without great care, and what is worse sight than an inebriated female, she cannot guard her own honor, ruins her own and family substance, and often clothes herself with rags. Trouble is often used as an excuse for this vicious habit, but it gives more trouble than it takes away. Love letters. On receiving a love letter that has any particular declaration in it, lay it wide open, then fold it in 9 folds. Pin it next your heart, and thus wear it till bedtime. Then place it in your left-handed glove and lay it under your bed. If you dream of gold, diamonds, or any costly gems, your lover is true and means what he says. If of white linen, you will lose him by death, and if of flowers, he will prove false. If you dream of his saluting you, he is, at present, false, and means not what he professes, but only to draw you into a snare. Magic Rose. Gather your rose on the 27th of June. Let it be full blown, and as bright as red as you can get. Pluck it between the hours of 3 and 4 in the morning, taking care to have no witnesses of the transaction. Convey it to your chamber, and hold it over a chafing dish, or any convenient utensil for the purpose in which there is charcoal and sulfur or brimstone. Hold your rose over the smoke about Avenue minutes, and you will see it have a wonderful effect on the flower. Before the rose gets the least cool, clap it in a sheet of writing paper on which is written your own name and that of a young man you love best. Also the date of the year and the name of the morning star that has the ascendancy at that time. Fold it up and seal it neatly with 3 separate seals. Then run and bury the parcel at the foot of the tree from which you gather the flower. Here let it remain untouched till the 6th of July. Take it up at midnight, go to bed, and place it under your pillow, and you will have a singular and most eventful dream before morning, or at least before your usual time of rising. You may keep the rose under your head 3 nights without spoiling the charm. When you're done with the rolls and paper, be sure to burn them. Ooh, lucky and unlucky days, etc. Let's see here. Should I continue on that? Because technically I can go for a long time. Because you got a list of hours and days, and that seems like its own episode there. So for the first episode, that's all you guys are going to get for now. Which is like, you got a fair amount, which ain't too bad, right? Like, I mean, like you got this much. That's how much I read so far, and it's got all this though. So that's part 1 of forbidden knowledge to be revealed. As you can tell, such forbidden knowledge that I'm going to be speaking of to look forward to consists of black magic, superstitions, charms, divination, signs, and omens. Have yourselves a wonderfully